Give the public a say on prison sentences, says Reform UK. I'm going to read into this more from the BBC, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from the BBC with the headline of Give the Public a Say on Prison Sentences, says Reform UK. The Deputy Leader of Reform UK has proposed a new law that would allow members of the public a say of when they think criminal sentences are either too harsh or too lenient. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a pretty good idea, doesn't it? On the surface, it does sound good. Giving back power to the people, have people have more of a say. But here's my counter argument. What's the point of politicians if we're not allowing politicians to make the decisions? The whole reason that we have politicians, the whole reason we have a government, is for them to make these difficult decisions for us. It shouldn't be the case that the public should have a say on literally everything that is done in the political sphere. Now, do I think that the prisons are in deep crisis right now? Yes, I agree. Do I think there should be looks at changes to the prison sentences? Yes, I do. I do think, in my opinion, personal opinion, I think that some of the prison sentences are too hard, especially on protesters. That's one of my biggest gripes. I also think sentences, I don't think anyone with possessions of drugs should be facing criminal sanctions unless they are a drug trafficker shipping huge quantities of drugs. Then maybe they should face prison sentence. But I think some lighter sentences that doesn't involve rape, sexual harassment, murder, those ones, obviously, of course, lifetime in prison, long periods in prison. But there are some crimes where I think we're being way too excessive, and where we need to look at where we can empty out some of these prisons. I'm in favour of a lot more of trying to get more people into community rather than doing community service, depending on what the crime that they have done, and I think that would shore up a lot of space. I know this whole this perception that people have of called tough on crime, to be tough on crime and all this and that. The problem is we can't be tough on crime as much as we want to, because the Conservatives left a broken prison system as well as a broken justice system. And these things, unfortunately, the reality is they're going to take time to fix. Right now, this government are looking to try and prioritise and get some prisons built. But again, that's going to take time to build. It's not going to be done it's not going to be done in a short space of time. It's going to take time to build the prisons for them. And the capacity is more than 98% near capacity right now, our prisons, in terms of how much they can take in. So there's all these factors that need to be taken into account. I don't personally think the public should be having a say on prison sentences. That's what politicians are there for. They're there to make this difficult. We elect them to make the difficult decisions, to make the tough decisions, so that we don't have to, so that we can carry on and living with our lives. That's my personal opinion. Some of you may respectfully disagree, but that's where I stand on this issue. So MP Richard Tice said he wanted a system where if 500 members of the public say they disagree with a sentence in a petition to the Criminal Case Review Commission, the CCRC, he would have to decide whichever to reverse the decision to a court. Okay, that 500 members, like just right there, it's not that hard to get 500 members of the public, especially if people are paying attention to politics. To me, I can just see that being a massive headache for the criminal justice system. 500 members of the public. It's not that hard to get 500 members of the public on board with something like that. It said it would add a further safeguard on sentences that would give the public more confidence in the justice system. Spokesperson for the Ministry of Justice said they were not actively considering Tice's proposals. Tice told MPs that even noble, experienced, wise judges can get things wrong. That's true. But that maybe the public would be ever more confident in a vibrant democracy in our justice system if it was like a system or triple check safeguards of the sentence without being able to impinge on the original judgment that was following a case. He said it would give people more confidence in the fairness of the competitive appropriateness of sentence within our system. Again, this is the thing. I see where the argument is coming from him, but again, my position is a case of it's not the public's it should not be up to the public to make that decision. That's what judges are for. That's what the judges need to make that conscious decision. And every case by case is different. Yes, do judges get it all right? No, of course not. But we've seen cases where criminals are convicted when they turn out to be innocent, and those that are found innocent, they're later to be found out as guilty. There is no such thing as a perfect justice system. You're not going to get a perfect justice system. I just don't think I don't agree with this idea that members of the public should have a say on the prison sentences here. An MOJ spokesperson declined to formally comment, but said under the existing laws, a defendant can refer their conviction to the courts of appeal if they believe their sentence to be unduly harsh or incorrect. There you go. Forget about the courts of appeal. Anyone can refer a case they believe to be unduly lenient to the Attorney General, spokesperson added. Tice proposed bill in the wake of the case of Lucy Connolly and referred in her speech in the House of Commons. Alluding to Connolly's case, he said someone sending a post on social media could be given a sentence that might be significantly more than the sentence given to a shoplifter, a robber, a mugger, or a drug dealer. Okay, I want to just slam this right down before anybody tries to make a case here. Okay, Lucy Connolly tweeted and advocating for the burning of asylum hotels with asylum seekers in them. That's literally proactively promoting the murder of innocent people. Okay, that is not okay. Okay, what part of this do you not understand? This is not about someone who tweets something saying that calling names of another politician. This is somebody who deliberately and intentionally knew what they were tweeting. She wanted those migrants to die. What part of that do you not understand? Okay? Lucy got exactly what she deserved. Yeah? You cannot promote and advocate for the deaths of other people. That's exactly what she was doing. That's why she is where she is. Yeah? You can disagree about things. There's nothing wrong on social media about disagreeing things. But when you're actively promoting to calling for the deaths of other people, because that's literally what she was in the context of her tweets, that's literally what she was doing. There is no excuses here. Connolly was jailed for 31 months in October after admitting incel racial hatred, and she's admitted to the crime as well. She posted on X calling for mass deportation, now adding a set fire to the hotels asylum seekers for all I care. Set fire. What part of that do you not understand? There were asylum seekers in the hotel. That's literally advocating for the murder of innocent people. Her message was reposted 940 times and viewed 310,000 times before she deleted it 3.5 hours later. In May, she lost an appeal against the sentence. Tice said previously that Connolly should be freed and that her imprisonment was an example of two-tier justice. No, it's not. The CCRC, the body Tice proposes, would assess any sentences a public petition has flagged, has faced criticism after a series of missteps. The independent arm's-length body looks into potential miscarriage of justice in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Dame Vera Bad KC, the new interim chair of the CCRC, told the BBC earlier this month the Commission was incapable of learning from their mistakes, and she warned she wanted to root out the culture causing them. Her predecessor quit in January after an independent report concluded that the CCRC had mishandled the case of Andrew Malgolson and had failed to complete basic work that could have cast doubt on his conviction. Malgolson was wrongly imprisoned for rape in 2004, and he was freed in 2023 when a judge declared his conviction unsafe when a new DNA evidence on the victim's clothing was found to have matched another man. MPs will debate the use of prisons as a penalty for non-violence offences arising from social media posts after a parliamentary petition created by the ex-Reform MP Rupert Lowe passed the 100,000 signatory threshold. I'm all for having the conversation and debate about a conversation about it, but it's not the place for the general public to decide on prison sentences. That's the decision of politicians, and if the majority of politicians say if there are enough and if the public, let me just say this, yeah, there are polls out there that share certain indications here, but to use Lucy as an example here is outrageous. Like, I'm sorry, like you can have your differences about asylum seekers on my channel. That's fine, but let's be absolutely clear about what she said. She actively wanted those asylum seekers to be burned alive in that hotel. That's what she was advocating for. That's what she was promoting for. And it took her 3.5 hours to realize that maybe she should take the tweets down. Yeah? There's no getting around that, okay? Yeah, she got exactly what she deserved. Yeah, you can tweet about disagreements about the asylum system. You can claim on social media that our country is overrun by immigrants. Yes, there's nothing wrong with saying that. You can express your dissatisfaction, but you can't advocate calling for the burning of asylum seekers. It's literal, you're advocating for murder. You can't do that, guys. It's not rocket science to ask this out. But the likes of Reform are trying to smear this to say that people's free speech are being undermined. This is not about free speech. This is about somebody who was actively promoting the murder of innocent people. Okay? That's what that was about. But that's not what Reform wants to see. No. Reform are saying this is about free speech. It's not about free speech. Yeah? Your free speech does not matter when you think it's okay to advocate and call for the deaths of others. That is not okay. You get exactly what you deserve for advocating for it. You may not like asylum seekers, you may not like migrants, and that's totally fine. But if you coming out there and actively calling for their deaths, you get exactly what you deserve from the justice system as far as I'm concerned. But maybe some of you have your heads in the sand and maybe you think, yeah, that it's okay to advocate for death and destruction. Maybe some of you think that's okay. If you think that's the way, go ahead and put a comment down below if you really think that. Like, apply some common sense into your comments if you can do. Or maybe some of you agree with me and say, maybe some of you agree and think that the public should have a say on prison sentences. Express your thoughts and let me know down in the comment section below. Now, if you found this video interesting, informative, or helpful, hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already, check out Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content. Excuse me. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, click the join button down below to become a YouTube member for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.